Alright, so this is going to be a video for all you people who don't know how to play disc. Um, Part of my strategy is that I only shield groups 3, 4, and 5. Those are the only 3 groups that I worry about during the whole fight besides letting my palm bounce around in melee. I pretty much just rely on our shaman and our druid to keep the melee healed up in groups 1 and 2 for infest, which is not a problem at all. We never have any issues. So in making it so you're only having to shield and worry about 15 targets, it's a lot easier to keep your mana up higher and get your shields to actually pop. And now I'm going to show you how I do that. There's some little tips and tricks that I'm going to show you that will help you to not go so fast. So right here, what you'll notice if you look at my DBM, you'll see that I start pre-shielding with about 20 seconds remaining in the RP. What this does is it allows all of my shields to be up on 15 people at one time at the beginning of the fight, and basically by the time combat starts, everybody will have weakened soul off them, so that I can show you the first trick for keeping your mana. So there's the first infest. Now you'll watch that I will not start shielding until the infest CD gets to about 9 seconds, or a little bit less. This time I got a little late start, but you'll see me start shielding right now in group 5. Now I'm in group 4. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get 10 shields up before infest hits. What this does, this timing makes it so that you don't have to shield those 10 people when the next infest comes out. And in doing so, what you'll essentially do is allow your shields to pop and you will get mana regen. Right? Because when your bubbles pop, you get mana. So you'll see with about 5 seconds left, I shielded the remaining 5 people in group 3. And everybody in groups 5 and 4, with the exception of one person, I think, was protected from infest. And I got a decent little chunk of mana back when infest hit. You just keep this up, shield as many as you can, starting at about 10 seconds till infest hits. Then those people that you shielded, you don't have to shield for the next infest. You can catch up and get the, 4, 5, 6, 7, however many you couldn't get to. And that's all phase 1. Now we're moving into phase 2 right now. What's going to happen here is it's basically just keep palm bouncing around in melee. And while palm is bouncing in melee, you're just going to be shield spamming like the pro disc priest that you are. Right about here, you're going to start getting pretty low on mana because there's not as much sitting around and regenning. So at the end of this transition phase, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use your pet on Lich King right away. And using it that early will mean that by the time phase 3 rolls around, about a minute into phase 3, maybe a little less, 30 seconds or so, you'll have another pet up and you'll have no mana issues there. As you can see right now, I'm just keeping mending, bouncing, and shield spams moving. Transition coming up right here. Run around, don't get hit by retards not killing ice balls. Here goes my pet. My pet's out right now. And now it's important to make sure that you're shielding as many as you can on that transition for this first infest. It catches a lot of people off guard. As you can see, I got everything right there. Just keep watching for Soul Reaper on the tank. Make sure that your shields are up. Try to keep that same rotation for infest that you had during phase 1. It's a little bit harder to do because you're having to move around, and be out of the middle for defile. There's a Soul Reaper. Notice I save my penance for when Soul Reaper actually ticks on the tank. That way there's never an issue with the tank dying to Soul Reaper because your paladins are fucking retards, which tends to happen from time to time. Ours are actually fairly decent, so I'm not having to worry about that, but for all intents and purposes, save your penance.